Hi everyone, this is Dango, and in this video I'm going to briefly talk about the Langrisser Mobile PVE tier list. So this tier list is mostly for beginners and new players who started in a new server. So if you already cleared all the PVE content without problem, then this is not the best tier list for you. But if you want to learn a little bit about who should you invest in for the future, you just started this game, you have trouble clearing some of the PVE content, then this is a great reference for you. And in this tier list, I considered the strength of the unit and how easy you can get those units into consideration. So this is why some of the easier to get units are ranked a little bit higher than expected. So let's just start the SS level tier. Leading, sexy leading is always the best tank for like PvE content, especially in Timeless Trail, Time Rift, and also first time Aniki clear. Yeah, he just deal 10 of damage when countering attack. Yeah, easily sexy leading, easily the best tank for you. Omega is the one of the best aggressive character in PvE content as well. So he can just ignore the troop and just kill the mobs one by one. This is very strong, especially strong in joint battle. If you have a sexy Omega, then you can carry your friend in joint battle. Zareda have extremely high mobility, can provide faction buff for a ton of characters. So that's all. That's why she's strong. But Omega and Zareda is a little bit hard to get. So if you are lucky enough to get them, then you can rest them. If you don't have them, then you don't need to reroll for them. But just just when you get them, you can try to put some resource on them to make your PVE experiments a little bit easier. Cherry, on the other hand, is one of the characters that you can get. This is the free SSR. We all have Cherry. If we just finish like the 7-day mission, then you can get a free Cherry. This is why she's ranked very high here. She can move again after kill, which is super strong. She can receive faction buff from leading. This is another reason that she's good here. Leon is very strong. He is strong even off faction because of the chivalry skill that Leon can learn. And Leon can move again after attack. This all makes Leon very, very strong. Leon can be used in both the regular Aniki farming, like the Time Rift, and also he can be used in challenges and Ancient Beckoning. It's just a very, very strong character. Lana is the best mage for PvE. She's still the best single target mage in PvE as of now. And you can arguably say Grenier could be deal some like higher damage in some case, but Lana has like a better but Lana is like easier to get from Grenier, and Lana just have very strong special gear that makes her damage very, very strong. So if you do have Lana, try to rest her, try to get her special gear, and she will make your PvE experience better. Tierius is the best PvE healer, and her healing net is just super strong, helps you tank survive any attack, and she can provide attack blessing, which is also very, very strong. Sophia is actually a replacement for Tierius. Tierius is great, but what if you don't have her? Then Sophia, I recommend for like most players, especially for beginners and free-to-play players. Sophia is actually very strong as well. Her regenerate is just equally good to Tierius combat healing. So regenerate on tank can make your tank very, very tanky and can let your tank survive a lot of attack. And Rewind is just a very strong and powerful skill, can reduce the cooldown significantly. For example, you just use Black Hole from Lana, then you Rewind after a few, and then you can use Black Hole soon again. So this is just why Sophia is very strong here. Ivan is easily one of the best character in Langrisser Mobile, in both PvE and PvP actually. He can receive faction buff from Matthew, he can call faction buff or receive faction buff from Lading. So yeah, faction buff is never a problem for Ivan. And his skill like Sword Soul is just one of the best skill in this game. And the other skill, Frontal Assault, can let Elven have extremely high defense. So he can be, although he cannot guard, but he can be super tanky. You just put Elven in the front and no one can kill Elven. So this is why Elven is super strong. And Elven is also very good because you can actually get Elven from the very beginning. If you just started in a new server, you will have a chance to summon Leon, Boren, and Elven and Sherry. I do recommend you to try to summon one copy of Elven. This is going to be very, very helpful for your PvE experience. And Luna is just very strong in Ancient Beckoning and Challenge. Luna is a little bit hard to get, but if you do have Luna, she is really required for Ancient Beckoning. And Ultimate, same thing for Ancient Beckoning, very strong. For PvE content, he can provide one of the best PvE faction buff that can ignore the terrain effect, which is super awesome. Angelina is actually one of the best characters that I recommend every players who have Angelina to build as well. She's just so versatile. She can provide the attack command, she can reduce the attack from the boss, which can significantly reduce the difficulty level of a challenge or Ancient Beckoning even. So yeah, she can also use the water control skill to reduce the cooldown of the skill. And yeah, she can also provide some AoE damage. She can use swipe, so your positioning can be like it can help your positioning. She's just so versatile. She has a lot of she can also hit the enemy and yeah, she can use ram to hit the enemy. So yeah, this will like kick the enemy for like 2 spots. She just is so versatile. It's just I think Angelina is easily the best character in this game. Although Angelina's talent is not that great, but yeah, you just have a ton of usage on Angelina. With the 3 cost skill of Angelina coming soon, she will become one of the best PvP character as well. So really, really good Angelina in both PvE and PvP. Land use is like it's just a little bit less viable than leading in PvE battle. But land use can counter range attack, so sometimes land use can be even better in certain maps of Timeless Trail. And land use is also strong because he can receive faction buff from Matthew. He can call faction buff for like a few one of the best characters in this game. So he's also very strong. Claret, very extremely long range. So this just makes her super good for like a Nikki first time clear, and even in some time rift, this is very good. Matthew, a lot of players say Matthew is not very good in this game. I cannot agree with them. Actually, for like free to play players, or for like beginners, if you have a flyer Matthew that can be extremely good, he can provide attack command. He can provide the faction buff for a lot of the best characters in this game, like Leading, Elven, like Liana, like Tiarius. Yeah, his faction buff is, I mean, it's not super powerful, but it's pretty good to use as well. And yeah, he can provide attack command. It's just a very solid unit. His special gear is pretty good as well. So Liana with again is like and with the summon Sky Archer is actually very good as well, especially in first clear Aniki. That's very useful. Again, it's very useful skill. In some challenges, the summon Sky Archer can be used to try to attract the attack of the enemy. So you can have an easier time positioning, so this is also great. Basil is the faction buffer for Dark Faction, which Dark Faction has Lana, which is the best mage in this for PvE content. So Basil, yeah, is also very strong in PvE as well, especially in Aniki first time clear. Basil can actually sleep Aniki, so this is super good, right? If you sleep Aniki, then you don't have to worry about the super bomb generated by Aniki. So yeah, Basil is very strong here as well. Juggler is needed when the challenge and or Ancient Beckoning have AoE attack on you. AoE attack usually is like very dangerous for you, but if you have Juggler, then he can heal after receiving AoE attack. This is very great. And Yulia is just a yeah, Yulia is just a very strong character overall. She is basically the mage of Elven. You already know why Elven is strong. In some case, the enemy have higher defense than magic defense. In this case, Yulia is just going to perform better than Elven. But Yulia is a little bit harder to get from Elven. So if you have Yulia, you can put some resource. If you don't have Yulia, then Elven is still the better characters for you to rest. Glorid and Leda is mostly used in Ancient Beckoning. If you want to get a very super high rank in Ancient Beckoning in Jormungandr, then Glorid and Leda, you have to rest them. For beginners, you don't have a free copy of Glorid and Leda, but in global server, we are going to have another event that will give you a free copy of Glorid and Leda soon. This is why I'm ranking Glorid and Leda a little bit high here, because they are still a free SSR for you, and if you don't have any other good SSR to rest, you can always rest them. They are pretty good in Ancient Beckoning, and in some challenge, they are pretty good as well. At least they have 5 mobility, and yeah, and they can use yeah, and their talent is very solid. It's like they can heal after dealing damage, which is always great. Norm is always great in Ancient Beckoning and some challenge as well. She is easily the highest damage dealer for archer units. So yeah, that's something, and she's an SR character. If you buy the initial package or something like that, you can actually get a Norm. So yeah, she's always a very good unit for early game. Chris is actually very strong as well. Chris can be useful in Ancient Beckoning. Chris provides the heal after combat as well, similar to Glory and Layla. They can remove debuff, and she can also provide random buff. So very good in Ancient Beckoning. She's great in Internal Temple as well. So Landfound is super good in Ancient Beckoning. The problem for Landfound is kind of you really don't have a good chance to summon a Landfound. I don't think we have a focus banner in the yeah, I don't think we have a focus banner for Landfound soon. So but if you do have Landfound, you can build your Landfound, so that can make your Ancient Beckoning experiments a little bit easier. Grenier is like a very strong character for challenge just because her ultra skill that can ignore the magic defense of the enemy at all. So in some of the boss, Lana cannot deal enough damage because the enemy have like so high magic defense. But if you apply enough debuff with the boss, and then you just hit with Grenier on that magic defense ignore skill, Grenier can still deal a ton of damage. Yeah, it's just a super high damage from Rini. So in that case, Rini is going to be much better than Lana. The problem for Rini is that she's a limited character. So if you have Rini, then you can build her. If you don't have Rini, Lana is still the way to go. So yeah, these are the characters that I think are very solid for the regular farming and even the challenge and Ancient Beckoning. The other characters, you can still use them, but either they are kind of hard to get. For example, Leonhard is hard to get, and Leonhard is not as good as other characters in terms of like challenge and Ancient Beckoning. So if you are like a beginner or free-to-play players, I don't really recommend you to build them. We are going to have the we are going to have the banner for Rini and Leonhard and also Georgia for STL for global server like rerun of these banners soon. I don't really recommend a free-to-play player or beginners to roll this banner. Maybe just a roll for one copy, but try to focus on PVE first before you build these characters. Those characters are mainly for PvP. Um, some characters that I still want to mention is for A rank is Vargas and Freya. So Vargas is basically if you don't have a super strong leading, or if you just like to use to run Empire and Strategy faction, then Vargas can be a very strong tank for you as well. He is useful in both challenge and Ancient Beckoning. Freya is mostly used for certain maps, Timeless Trail. In Timeless Trail, you have certain maps that the enemy will only receive fixed damage. In this case, Freya is one of the better choice for your tank because she just deal a ton of fixed damage. Olivier is useful in certain Ancient Beckoning. Overall, he's not super useful in challenge. Freya is actually useful in some challenge. She just knew one of the skill that can swipe the enemy, which is super strong. But I don't really think she's very strong beside that. So depends. I don't think you need to put a ton of resource on her because usually you just need her to use that skill, and then you have other characters to deal the damage. So just put a little bit of resource on her to get the swipe skill. Then I think this is fine. Iris has teleport, so she's also needed in Ancient Beckoning. So the teleport skill can have some usage in challenge. So Joshua is needed in certain Ancient Beckoning for German Gander. Yeah, or for the Nidhogg, you can also use Joshua. But he is not required in either Asian Beckoning, and he's a limited character to get. So it depends on if you have Joshua or not. If you have like better options, then you don't need to build him. Varna, on the other hand, is actually very solid and very good in Asian Beckoning, and also in some challenge, she can be pretty good as well. In Asian Beckoning, it is mainly for the Fenrir's battle and also for H&M. So Varna is kind of needed in these two battles. So that is something to note. If you are trying to get S rank in Ancient Beckoning, Varna is still a character that you need to build. So for B level characters, I don't really recommend you to build them for PVE purpose. If you don't have Vargas, you don't have leading, you don't have Landives, for like the very beginning stage, you don't have any other tank, then Grenier is still a very good solid tank for you. He can receive faction buff from Matthew, so you can always run Matthew plus Grenier, plus like Sophia plus Elvin, this kind of team composition that's still going to work well. And for the new characters, for example, in this UU Hexual banner, these characters are still mostly focused on PvP. If you just started the global server after UU Hexual banner, you can use them to clear some PvE content, but they are not super solid compared to the other characters. And Amanda is actually very good in some of the challenge and also very good for internal temples, the Phoenix, right? Amanda is one of the very reliable source that can provide you some debuff to the enemy. This alone is very useful. So like even when I clear the Phoenix, I used Amanda. So Reinforce is a very fun character to play with. You have what they call black technology with Reinforce a lot. So Reinforce, if you have him, I don't think you need to put a ton of resource on him, but sometimes his swipe skill is very useful. And Jessica and Hayin is kind of similar, just to provide the teleport, whereas this guy here, I forget his name. Yeah, but this guy can provide the hook scale. Only two of the characters in Langrisser Mobile can provide hook scale. So one of the trick for Timeless Trail at the beginning is like you can hook one enemy and kill one by one. So this is always a very solid skill or trick to use at the beginning stage. So yeah, Letitia can provide two mobility buff. This is very unique, and in some of the time rift or in some of the challenge, you need to clear the boss like fast enough. Sometimes these Letitia can provide you help there. So yeah, but those characters like Hook or like Teleport or Reinforce and Letitia are really like kind of black technology characters that you don't need a ton of resource on them. Just to understand, in some case, you will need them to do something for you. So this is all about this PVE tier list. Hope you find this helpful for you. And yeah, if you do find this helpful, please hit a like button and subscribe my channel. Thanks. Peace.